Hey y'all, this is Cindy. I'm the Tireless Tangler. I want to welcome everyone back to the 100 Days of Zentangle Project 2021. Thank you all so very much for being with me today and every day. And our tangle today is going to be Caro. It is one that we did last year and I just loved. And when I was looking at heart tangles for today, I really was just drawn to do that again. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a Zia. I'm going to use a Zentangle tile. I think it's 6 inches across, if you're interested in that. And the Zentangle tile, it's basically for mandalas. And on this, I'm going to use my Arteza watercolors. I've chosen Rose and Naples Yellow today, and I'm just gonna do a little bit of a wash on there to make some interest on the tile before we get to drawing. I also will probably use, well, for sure I will use my aqua brush or my water brush, so a paintbrush with water in the barrel. And I will probably use a brown ink pen, a 01. And then I've chosen a variety of pencils, both Prismacolor and Polychromos, just in case I feel the color needs to pop a little bit. All right, so let's get started first. I'm gonna start with my Naples Yellow. I haven't done a swatch on this yet, so I think I will do one on the back. It's a little crusty, so I'm probably gonna get little paint flecks everywhere. Let's see what we can do. Always make sure your brush is clean before you start. Even though it looks blue, it's really clear. Okay. So then I'm gonna dip a little bit in here, and I'm just gonna do a swatch like this. I'm gonna go from dark to light, like this. And I chose Naples Yellow because it's very neutral yellow. It's not very orangey or red. It doesn't have as much red. This is more like a yellow that's mixed with white. So it's fairly neutral. And so I like that. And I'm going to start on the front here. And I'm going to start by spreading some water and only putting it in some spots. Okay, what I'm going to want here is a mix of different colors here and there. And if you don't apply water to it, then it's not going to spread as quickly. If that makes any sense to anyone, I'm not sure. So this is a really pretty yellow. And I'm just going to squeeze out some water as I go with this. I'll add paint as I go. This is very, what NE calls intuitive, meaning that this is very much something that you decide. You do just as a natural inclination. What are your natural inclinations when it comes to stuff like this? What do you want to see? So I basically put water down first, and then I'm taking my paintbrush or my aqua brush, and I'm just dabbing a little bit color on the end. And then I'm trying to find those spots where I sort of put the water on to begin with. And, you know, if that doesn't end up being exact, that is fine. And I think I'm going to leave it a little bit rough, sort of like this. And then let's see if I can adjust this light so you can see a little bit better. And then I'm going to clean my brush and put the lid back on immediately, because last time I lost the lid for a little bit. And I'm going to get my rose out next. Now I can let the yellow dry if I want, but I don't think I'm going to mind if the colors mix a little bit here and there. Get rid of those flecks. Make sure you got a paper towel so that you can work with your stuff. Now on this one, I think I'm going to add it on dry and then add my water to it. This is going to be a little drippier than the last way, at least more visually drippy. And so I'm just going to let this color come and slide through here. If it mixes with the yellow, it mixes. The yellow is neutral enough to where we're not going to have trouble with it, I don't think. As far as the blending between the two colors, I wanted something neutral and something vibrant on this. All right, and you can again do this however you like. Put your paint wherever you want. And what happens is it'll sort of roll up against this other edge and sort of stick. And again, I know nothing about watercolor, so don't talk about me. And if you want to dab some in the yellow, you certainly can. Oops, I got way too much there. Well, let's put some down here. Way too much. It's a pretty color though, isn't it? And once again, I'm squeezing out water. God, I love doing this. I love to paint. Isn't it fun? Isn't it fun? Now, any watercolors will do for this, but remember, you know, the better quality your watercolor, the better experience you're going to have. And even more important than the type of watercolor you have is the kind of paper you have. If you have an original Zentangle tile, you are golden for this kind of thing. If not, it will depend on the quality of your hot press watercolor paper or whatever else you're using. Now, this can be done on the back of a cereal box, but you're going to have a very different result. So just be aware of that. I don't want to rain on anybody's box parade there. I think that's actually very cool. And my paintbrush changed to purple, which is also very cool because I like purple. All right, I think I'm going to stop there and clean out my brush. And do I want to mess with any of these edges? Maybe not. I thought to go around and soften those a little bit, but I think I'm going to leave the rest. We're not going to notice it that much once it's dry because we will be busy drawing on it. Okay, so this will lighten up as it dries. I'm going to use my hair dryer here real quick and I'll be right back with you. Here, it's a bit streaky mess, but I think that's going to work perfectly for what we're doing today. Okay, so the question is, do I have my brown PN? No, but I have a brown. So there's my brown PN. It's a little darker than I want, though. You'll notice that the PNs in, if I can find my brown, the PNs in brown have a darker shade of brown, and therefore they go on darker. And the reason I'm choosing brown is because it will meld better with the background. Okay, but I really want to use a PN because of the watercolor residue. So I think I'm going to try my 01 and see how that goes, and then we'll move from there. Okay, Caro is based on a triangular grid. And so what we're going to do, I'm trying to decide which direction to go with it. I intended to go this direction, but it might be more interesting to go opposite to the flow of the watercolor. What do you guys think? I don't know. If we do it this way, then the patterns will tend to be divided into pinks and yellows, which isn't a bad thing. If we do it this way, the pattern's going to shift color as we go across, which might be more interesting. So let's do that. I'm going to start with drawing a line sort of wherever I can consider the middle of the tile. And I'm just going to do that in pencil. Okay. And then I think I will do this and this. Okay, so what I have here are basically two ribbon-like strips. I don't know, let me zoom in, see if you can see them. Yeah, one down the center and one to either side. Okay, so we've got two roads or a double-sided highway or something, all right? So now I'm going to take my ink pen. I don't know why I drew those in pencil. It's not necessary. But I did want to decide how I was going to do this. So, all right. So we're going to start with drawing this line in ink, I think. And here we go down here. Not quite even here. I think I'll go the other way with this and see what happens. It's going to be okay either way. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a triangle shape in the middle of one of these. Doesn't have to be perfect, okay? And from here out, I'm going to continue to make these triangular shapes, okay? And you can approach that whatever way is easiest for you. Try to get them consistent. Not the end of the world if they're uneven. Okay? And if you run out of space, it'll just be a partial. Then on the next section, I want you to do the opposite of this, like so. All right, we're going to mirror. And so try to get your top points to match approximately. Yeah. I don't know if I did that, but yeah. So this about right here. And so that we have divided these all up into triangles that mirror each other on each side, okay? Now what we're going to do is, let me demonstrate on this yellow one since we can see. I'm just going to put a tiny dot sort of in the center here. And then I'm going to draw a Caro. Okay, I had to double check and make sure that I was going to be pointing my hearts the correct direction. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a heart into each one of these corners, okay? So starting at that center point that we drew, just going to draw in some careful hearts. They're going to point in different directions to each corner. Try to get their points together. Like this, okay? Then the cool thing about this is she has got some overlapping worked in. So we're going to aura our outer triangle and use the Hollabaugh method of drawing behind, so that when we come to these lines that are already inked, we're going to stop, lift our pen, and go on to the next spot. I may have to shift this to a black pen. This is disappearing quite nicely. Now at this point, you may decorate this as you will. Lucy has, let's see, she has, in her step out, she has the outsides inked, or these little interstices inked. She's got several variations in the art on this, and she has also got a, she used color on these, but she also does a little sort of an inside heart like this. Which is really pretty. This really emphasizes the heart shape. And this is why you want your little ends to line up so they match really nicely. All right, so this is one version of Caro. Now again, I can ink in here in these spaces or not. I haven't decided what I want to do. I can also replace these hearts on the inside with little flicks. That also works really pretty in this. All right, so I'm going to draw in the rest of this line and see what happens. Let's see what my center line right here, or my center point right there. I'm going to take my time. These hearts don't have to be perfect because they're going to look good either way. The hard part is making them all, the points all match up. And keep your aura line coming and be careful. Just take your time so it looks nice and neat. When I started drawing, I rushed about everything. And you do not have to do that. Take your time. It's worth, your art is worth the time and effort you put into it. So put time and effort into it. Okay, I'm going to hold off on the little internal hearts because I might want to use color on that. I haven't decided. But I'm going to keep drawing here. So let's see, right down here. This should work. And this internal aura is going to work really well. And these dark spots, we're going to be able to brighten up with Prismacolor or Jelly Roll or all kinds of things. So don't worry about these areas that seem to be dark. We're going to lighten them up. We will first get the line work in. Careful, Cindy. Slow down. Let me keep this turned this way so my hand won't be in the way. I learned that last year. Finally. Takes a while for me. All right. So this doesn't look like much yet, but I think when we start the embellishing and if we decide to ink the interstices, I think that's going to be pretty powerful. So let's keep going, get our initial strokes in, and then we can decide what we want to do with it. And one thing that might help you after you have drawn one, the next two should have a nice flat line between them. See, either one. All right, that's good. That's good. Okay, let's put in our aura lines. I just love this pattern. I loved it when Lucy brought it out last year. It was done in memory of a CZT in Ireland that was lost in a car accident. And it was such a lovely tribute to Caroline McNamara, CZT. And so Lucy is my classmate from CZT 32 class. And we met and chatted many times and sat near each other in the conferences. So we're fairly familiar with each other, and she has a heart for these patterns, and is such a wonderful lady, such a wonderful lady. Okay, so I'm just going to faux heart this. I'm just going to pretend, since I can't quite get them in there far enough, and I'm going to go ahead and aura this. Okay, all right, I think that's what I can do there. Let's hit this one. Remember, go slow and easy with these. I thought I might need the colored pencils, but I'm not sure now. This is really beautiful paint. It's pretty, really vibrant. I think if I perk it up here and there with my white Prisma or a white charcoal pencil, it might work really well. So we are preparing for a huge snowstorm. I'm having flashbacks to the ice storm and how long we were out of power. I didn't realize it at the time, but that was really a trauma. And it sounds stupid because people live that way all the time, but anyway, it was. I mean, it's not that we didn't survive, and it's not that we were particularly, you know, it was just tough. You know, it disrupted our entire lives, and it's tough to get back on track afterwards. All right. So the Naples yellow was a good choice. I do like the rose. I should have made it a little bit lighter, but I like bold, so why not go for it? All right, now, so I don't know where my center point is, but I do know where this one on the side is. I'm going to try to match those up, and we'll just pretend from there. These little R lines become important as we move these together. Then we have a really cool looking border between them. Did I do this? No, I did not. There we go. All right. I do like these inked in hearts, but I'm asking myself, would I rather do those with color, like my pink PN, or maybe yellow, or something colored. So I think I'm going to wait and draw this in, and we'll see where we're at then. That may be too high, and we'll make it work. Got quite a bit of watercolor residue on here, but that is okay. It looks pretty, and I'm dealing. Now, if your pen, if you're using a 01 and your pen stops working, you need to gently, very gently clean your nib. You just wipe it on a damp rag or a paper towel, just gently get any residue off, and then you're good to go again. All right. Polly, you said in comments that you thanked me for reminding you to lighten up on your pens, and all of a sudden they flowed like water. Good girl. Good girl. And who else did I see? So many of you new guys, and even more of you guys from California leaving me comments. I had one from Iowa. Hello, Iowa. I want to say hi to my people in Norway, Finland, and the Netherlands. All of you guys. Sweden, we have some. I was looking at my channel analytics that YouTube gives me, and we have people from I don't even know how many countries here. I think last year, Canada was number 2. This year, it is England. The UK is number 2, and number 3 is Taiwan. Welcome, Taiwan. We had Taiwan last year, but we've got a lot more of them this year, so welcome, guys. China, and where else? So I'm very blessed that we have an audience on this channel that is from all over the world. More people from India. I love my India people. All right. And a bunch of you in South America. Hola. That's all I got for you. And Mexico now. So I am thrilled. I will have to show you a graphic of all the different countries we have. Russia and some of the countries in the Eastern European Union. Ukraine. So I love all you guys. That's great. It's great that this art form transcends language and culture and differences in religion and politics, and we can still come together as a people and make something beautiful together, calm ourselves, remind ourselves of what's so important in our world today, and that is caring about each other. We are so lost sometimes with our own lives that we forget how important it is to be a good neighbor, a good person, a good friend. And I think if we all focus on the ways that we can make our lives better for the people around us, I think that the world will start to change. I wish that we didn't have people that needed power above all else. And I wish that the world didn't have poverty and sadness and all of that. But that's part of our lives. That is part of living. And the sorrows make the joys even more intense. And I just want us all to remember that we're all human and we all are different. And I celebrate our differences and celebrate the knowledge that comes from getting to know you guys. And I think it is fabulous to learn new languages, learn things about you guys. It thrills me to see how many of you guys are posting on Instagram. And yes, Nancy, I know I still need to get that out. The child is leaving this weekend for his aunt's again, so I am hoping that I may get a little bit more done this weekend. Of course, I might not. You can never tell. But I will be doing my best to get that done. I didn't like the one I recorded. I didn't think it made a lot of sense, so I want to record it again. This pattern is so relaxing to me. Just hearts. And you do want to kiss the sides with your hearts if you can. Sorry, I couldn't help it. I'm sorry. I'm glad that you guys don't mind my humor. It's a good thing because it's probably not going to change now. I just don't see any reason to be all serious. We're here to have fun and enjoy ourselves and, get a little relaxing done and make something beautiful the best part. And we got to play with paint today, so that's a big plus. And guys, if you don't have paint, you don't have to color your tile. This is going to look good whether it's black and white or color. Well, that one wasn't very good, but it'll be all right. It'll all blend in. All right, and I've still got to get one in here. And aura. Don't forget the auras. Those are really important because then you have this little lattice work here. Isn't that cool? All right, so we're going to finish these off now. I'm still trying to decide whether I want to ink them all. I'm going to look at Lucy's examples here, which are gorgeous, by the way. That girl is so talented. You're talented, Luce. It's wonderful to do this pattern again. I loved it the first time, so we're going to do it again. Well, that's a good idea she did. All right, so she has several ways of varying this. And in her step out, she actually has little orbs in these spots right here. Like that. And then she inks around them. Do I want to ink or not? To ink or not to ink? This is the question. Well, I don't know, so I'm going to put more orbs. What do you guys think this needs? It's regardless of what I think. It's more important what you guys think. All of Lucy's examples are beautiful, and they all have the background inked in, so I really should ink. And it's not that I don't want to ink, that isn't it, or that I'm against inking, that isn't it. I'm just wondering what that will do to our palette, our color palette. Probably nothing. All right. All right. I think I will ink. I think it's going to be really effective. I'm going to do the orbs first, though. And I want to use my PN, but again, the color on that is slightly darker, and I don't know whether I want darker or not. But it would be a lot faster. But again, we're not trying to hurry, are we? We're not in a hurry. I'm a little bit in a hurry, but I'll try not to be. And Roseanne, it isn't that I mind making the videos. It's the editing that I hate. I don't even hate it. It's just I have trouble sitting through it. It's long. If I could just do these and upload them without all that, that'd be great. And I suppose I could, but that would be embarrassing. Y'all would see me as I really am. And it's not pretty. All right. Colored PNs. These were a gift from one of you guys. Nancy, thank you. I'm going to put my brown up just for a minute and take my pink PN and give this a try for these little middles and see what we end up with. And Lucy really doesn't make these a big thing. She just puts a little bit down like that, sort of similar to the flower flicks, but not quite as. And it's just happenstance they end up looking like the heart. Now, yes, I will have one in brown and others in pink, but I think I can live with that. So it's just basically a little teardrop shape, a narrow teardrop shape going down to the bottom on each side. And if you want to make it a heart, you certainly can. I'm trying to decide if this is going to be dark enough over here. Let me look on it on camera here. It's out. This is pretty dark, isn't it? Okay. I think my river girl has joined us. That was school telling me that the weather's bad. I know this. I can see the snow outside my window. We are supposed to get a huge amount of snow this weekend. And so I am hoping that we do not lose power again, because that would suck royally for everyone, because then I wouldn't be able to upload videos. So that would be bad. So all of y'all pray that despite the storm, we retain our power, because I absolutely have no other way to do this. I have to pay for really fast upload speeds for my internet. And anywhere else, it will take me 10 to 12 hours a day just to upload the videos, and that's not tenable. We can't do that. So let's all pray for peace. Pray to keep the power. I don't mind the cold. I don't mind the snow. I'm not going anywhere. We have food. We're good. But I don't want to lose my internet so that we don't miss any days in this, because that would be bad. Guys, if for some reason you don't get a video, hang in there. It will be there as soon as I can get it up, okay? And if we should have to miss a day, then we will just pick up the next day that I can get on, all right? Don't anybody panic. I'm going to be okay. I just letting you know ahead of time that we've got weather rolling in that's supposed to be really bad this weekend. And losing power is always part of that sometimes. Usually it's not me, and so that's fine, but I'm just paranoid from the ice storm that we had in October. It was crazy, so I think my pen is not happy. Let's clean that off. There we go. And remember, lighter pressure lets your ink flow out easier, okay? The more you push, the more you're driving the tooth of the paper and anything on it, in this case the paint, up into the barrel of your pen, and that will clog it instead of giving more ink. So light pressure. These pens are delicate. That's why they're so expensive. They are delicate tools, and they're wonderful delicate tools. There are other kinds of technical pens. You can try very good pens. Zentangle, and I was already drawing with microns before I got into Zentangle, so I already loved microns, but you don't have to, of course, use microns. And these are from Japan, and wonderful. They have wonderful ink that's archival, doesn't normally doesn't smear with water over it. Whatever you want to do, they hold up. They're color fast, so the colors don't fade and stay brilliant. So if you can find a technical pen that has those qualities, and there are a lot of them out there, then you're going to be okay. So it doesn't have to be a micron. That's not a rule. It doesn't have to be Zentangle paper. That's not a rule. Any paper you have is fine. But when we're talking about using wet media, you at least need some hot press watercolor paper. And like I told you guys before, you can use cold press. It's just a rough draw on there. And if you have trouble with that, then you might not like it. For me, with my shaking, I find that the rougher the paper I have, the more control I tend to have. It's like forcing the pen across that rough tooth, and I feel that way about cardboard. Cardboard tangling is something that I really like, and I feel like I'm good at, because I have that resistance, I think, from the tooth, because it's rough and heavy, and so that's almost invisible, isn't it? Some of these I may use brown on just to get them to show up. You can barely see that one. But again, we're going to brighten these with our Prismacolor before we're done. And I may do these in brown just so we get that shape in there. We'll see. Whoops. Don't push so hard, Cindy. Well, now that I'm back from being so rudely interrupted, I just don't trust people anymore. So this guy with foreign accent calls, says he's with Medicare, and he wants some personal information about my insurance so that he can send me something free, glucometer or something. And he doesn't give me any information. He tells me he got my information from Medicare. You know, I'm not going to give these people any information, because I don't know who they are. I don't know where they came from. I don't know why they're calling me. I mean, to give me something free, that doesn't happen. I can get my supplies through my insurance company or my doctor or the pharmacy. I don't need India to send me anything. And that's not a diss on India, by the way. I love my Indian friends. I have many. It's just, You know, once you've been scammed a couple of times, you just get jaded. I guess that's it. I just don't want to do anything stupid again, you know? Okay, so here's where I'm at. Now, the question I have is filling the backgrounds in, and I think I will because I think it's going to be a lot more effective that way. The question I'm having is brown or black, and I think I'm going to do brown. I think I'll use the darker PN for this and see how it goes, okay? And then we will play with lightening all of this up, okay? Well, let's start over here with this little guy. You can see this brown is quite a bit darker than the brown that I drew with. Well, this may not be the best choice. This pen is not flowing well. I am barely touching down, so it's not too much pressure. You see out of the light? Maybe. Try my 0.5. See if that'll work better. It's the same color. We'll see if this works. Yeah, that's better. Once again, you don't want to press down when you're doing this. You just want to glide across the top. Very light pressure on your pen. You should not grip it tightly. Try to relax your hand if you're one of those grippers. I know you're out there. I used to be one. I've had to train myself to lighten my grip, and every time we breathe, that's why I tell you, relax your hands. The light on this is making me think I've got spots when I don't. So I made these a little too large, but I think the difference in the color is gonna be okay. And I could put colored pencil over that if I really wanted to. But I probably won't. So this is what we're gonna have. So I'll know next time to use a little less color. But I really like this. And I think if we can get it out of this light, you guys will too. All right, let's keep going. Ooh, this pen does not like that paint. Really be gentle. And if you need to clean your nib, just gently run it across a paper towel or a cloth or whatever you got handy, a tissue. Another fun thing we could do is come in with a gold jelly roll and mess around with this. We could fill these spots with gold. We could do gold on the hearts. We're not going to, but we could. I really want to let you guys know how much I appreciate your comments. I know I'm already way behind on them, but I am reading them. I do see them. And I appreciate all of y'all on Instagram that have gotten in touch. This is going to be an amazing journey for the next however many days we've got left, 80 something. And that's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited that so many people have joined in this year. And by the way, I am so close to 10,000 subscribers, it isn't even funny. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. I so appreciate that. That really helps my income a lot, and I appreciate that. That this is our way of having a little extra for sports and the things that Mari needs, and they are many. He is growing so fast at this point that even if I buy him winter boots, he won't be able to wear them by the time they get here. So it's been tough, and the income I get from the ads on YouTube is it's not a lot because I'm not allowed to get much, but it helps us tremendously. It takes us from worrying about eating every month to not worrying about eating a month and having a little bit extra. So it means a lot to me that you guys have subscribed. Thank you so much for doing what you do and the ways that you support me. Now, the other thing I need to address is the membership program. I need to let you guys know that I'm going to end the membership program temporarily and then reestablish it with some different parameters. I realized last year that I was in way over my head, and I feel like I owe some people because I don't feel like I gave them very good value for what they gave me last year. And so I want to be fair to everyone with what you're getting if you're going to be a channel member. And I want to make sure that it's something I can actually succeed with instead of fail like I did last year. And I didn't think what I promised last year was going to be that difficult, but it ended up being nearly impossible. I couldn't fit anything extra in with the 100 days. It already absorbed all of my time. And so, and any extra time I had, I needed to spend with my family. So it was really tough. And so all of the extra videos that I wanted to do for my members just didn't materialize the way I wanted them to. And so I am still trying to figure out how to let you guys know how much I appreciate your support every month and still be able to not feel like a failure. Does that sort of kind of explain what I mean? I don't want to let you guys down. You guys are so meaningful to me, and I just can't express that enough. You are my family. You're my crowd. You're my confidants. You're the ones that I talk to. You're my friends. And whether that sounds stupid for an online relationship or not, it's true. And, when I make these videos, I'm thinking about my friends and what you would like and what you would enjoy and how I can challenge us. And it's a group effort. It means the world to me. In my isolation, this is how I reach out and I connect with people. And so you guys make this possible. You make it work for me. And I just want you to know how dear you all are to me. Each and every one of you, whether I've met you or not, whether you've left me a comment or not, you mean the world to me. And it amazes me that because only half of you guys that watch are subscribed. So, that's kind of incredible. Thank you guys so much for the support and the love and the warm comments and the way that you care for me. That makes it all worthwhile. It makes it all worthwhile. So there. That's my heartfelt speech for today. I've got a piece of hair hanging out with me. I don't know how to get rid of it. Yeah, it's connected. I don't know. We'll see if it comes back. My stomach's talking. It's lunchtime. Now look at this. Isn't that pretty? We could even take a white jelly roll and run around these borders if, excuse me, if that's what we wanted. I got the hiccups. Or the burps or something. Something I don't want to share on YouTube. Although these days, everybody lets it hang out. I was just not raised that way. You know, my mom was pretty conservative, so I was raised to be, you know, a good girl. I wasn't, but I tried. And, yeah. All the shenanigans going on in the world today are not for me. Too old for that. Too old for that malarkey. Everybody just needs to sit down with a pen and paper and draw with me. It would be a better world if they would. Don't you guys think? Give everybody a pen and paper, put one of my videos on, have them breathe together. Have them draw something nice and cool, pretty. Everybody'd get along so much better. I'm convinced. I think Zentangle, the Zentangle community should be in charge. Everything would be done with compassion and love. It's my 2 cents for the day. It's not that I haven't met people in the Zentangle community that are negative, but not very many. Most of them are so loving and so compassionate and so grateful, because I find that a lot of us have similar struggles that we've been through that Zentangle has helped us with. And so Zentangle is a blessing, a true blessing for many of us. I know it is for me. All right. Well, we're getting there. Let's back up a little bit. Well, let's not prejudge our tile. Let's go ahead and finish, because I'm like y'all, I prejudge. We're not going to do that today. Hopefully y'all have a better outcome than me. You frequently do. I am not out here to make myself look good. I am here to encourage you guys to do wonderful new things. I'm so proud of you older people that are starting to draw for the first time, but I'm also thrilled. I noticed today that I have started to gain a younger audience, even some from the 18 to 24 range. So welcome, you young folks. I'll try not to be too old and boring for you. No promises on that. My little boy keeps me young in spirit, I hope, or tired. I can't decide which one it is. But I'm thrilled to have you guys with me from all over the world, Australia and New Zealand, Pakistan, Singapore, Argentina, Chile. Hi, Isabel. I don't remember all the countries, but I remember a lot of them. I was so impressed. And it was interesting how much the demographics for this audience have changed since last year. Last year, I think I was 54% in the US, and, you know, however much left in various other countries. This year, I'm only at 43 in the US, and a lot of other countries are higher up. So that's kind of a cool thing for me. I think that's all pandemic related, of course. Everybody is searching for something to help their lives look better and more positive, and it is so hard right now to find those things. At least it is for me. When I watch the news, I'm always so disappointed in humanity in general. I just want people to love each other, and I don't understand why we can't. But that's my personality, and I'm not like everybody else. My own child and I have areas where I can't understand where he's coming from, and he doesn't understand where I'm coming from. On this very subject, in fact. He's more of a, if you got me, I'm getting you back kind of a person. I'm more of a, let's sit down and work it out kind of a person. I can just hope that he becomes a fine young man like I believe he will. I want him to be proud of his race and his gender and be a good example for others. And whether or not I will get that, that's up to him. As I'm learning, A, it's not my life to live. B, all I can do is give him the tools and hope that he will use them. And C, I can continue to love him through any mistakes and through all of his successes and continue to be there to support him. That's all I know how to do. He is a wonderful young man. He is so smart and struggles, though, with so many things. So I worry. You know, PTSD is not an easy thing to deal with, and it's lifelong. He will always have some of these fears and anxieties that he struggles with now. And, you know, I've given him as much security and safety and love as I possibly can for the last 4+ years, 4.5 years now. He's my forever baby now. So happy. Now if I could just figure out how to file my taxes, we'd be good to go. Good to go. Got any accountants in the crowd that want to give me a hands up? I'm just kidding, guys. My sister's an accountant. And I would probably just pay TurboTax or H&R Block or somebody. I guess I'm considered a small business now. Speaking of that, when we hit 10,000 subscribers, then I'm going to have a merchandise shelf. And so I am trying right now to figure out, I want to make a Tireless Tangler t-shirt, but I don't know how that should look. And I want to challenge you guys. If one of you has an idea, a design idea, or if you want to make a design for me, I would love that. Give you props on here, of course. And, you know, we would use the best design. Maybe we use more than one. I would love for you guys to do that for me. Because I'm at a loss. I tend to do the same old things, and I want to do something, you know, a little bit more cool. That's all I got. I mean, I can provide art and all that, or you can do your own art or whatever you want to do. Maybe I should just put that out as a challenge. I would love that if somebody would have some good ideas for that. That would be awesome. Please hit me up on Instagram if you have some ideas for that. Or some pictures of drawings that you have. Some mock-ups. We will, of course, have another 100 Days shirt this year, and that's another good one if somebody wants to make a design for our 100 Days 2021. Do that and let me know. send me pictures or whatever. Use any of the tangles that we've used if you want to have a tangle on there. We don't have to. But this is not my area of expertise, designing clothing or logos or anything like that. And I find that I am sort of at a loss. So any help or advice or suggestions you guys have would be awesome. Otherwise, you're just going to get something from me. Merchandise is another easy way to help me support this channel, get the equipment I need, that kind of thing. There. Yeah, we're moving it. Just a few more. I went to check the time and realized that I stopped the camera when I got that phone call. Stop calling me, people. I have been getting so much spam, it's stupid. And they just change the number and call back when you block them. What the heck? Let's see. I'm sitting here chilling out, listening to River snore. I'll try to get another video done today, just in case. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. This will be a long one, I suspect. Might do something a lot simpler tomorrow, we'll see. Wanted to do something special for Valentine's Day, and this is a good one for that. You see, this pen is really picking up that paint residue, and it's stopping the ink flow, and so I'm just gently wiping it off on my paper towel to keep it going. Sometimes if you're having trouble, if you go in small, really gentle circles, you can get a better result, and you don't get those liney streaks. But of course, figure out the way that works best for you and your pen. It really depends on the pen you're using. We're almost there, guys. The inking process really brings out the flower design. It really brings out the triangles and the lattice work, and I just think it's really lovely. When you're using your 01 or your 05 or whatever, rotate your pen in your hand every few minutes. That will help the nib not wear unevenly. And if one side is tougher to get ink out of, just switch to the other side. That will frequently solve some of your problems. So make sure your nib is clean and rotate your pen so that your nib doesn't wear on one side. And your pens will last a lot longer, I think. Not sure what we're doing in there, so I'm just going to leave it for now. You know I don't like guessing. I'll decide later. I like to leave all the deciding to the end. It's less stress that way for me. Now these little orbs we're going to dot jelly roll in, so they're going to show up just fine. I think I'm going to add my white Prismacolor to the ends of these hearts and sort of brighten up those so that it will, the pattern should bust out then. Should be able to see everything. That is my hope. I may be wrong. I may end up with a result that I am unpleased with or displeased with, and that's okay. It will still be another step on our journey. Remember not to throw away your old tiles if you dislike them, or even if you liked them, don't throw them away. If you have good paper, then that's worth saving. And there are a lot of projects out there that you can do that use old tiles. And in fact, I think Annie Oken has a lesson out. I think it's her Inchy Mosaics lesson, where you take pieces of old tiles that were either unfinished or that you didn't like, and take little 1-inch pieces out of them and use them in a mosaic tile, which was a very cool lesson. That's one way to handle that. There are lots of different methods to handling things that you don't like. All right, so our ink work, for the most part, is done. You can shade this, and where the shading would happen would be where these overlap here, and I probably will add some shading, but certainly, because I know what shading does. This will also help pop those hearts up. And it will even darken the darker parts. It's still going to work there. Just like this. Just everywhere where those hearts overlap the border. We'll just shade in those areas. And don't use too much. You don't want to overwhelm it. You just want a hint of a shadow there. Sup, Simba? Are we getting serious about this? Is my watercolor in the way? All right, big dog, come on. Come on, up. Come on. Good boy. That's my buddy. Lie down. No, you can't lie in Mommy's lap. Thank you. You're my baby. All right. Okay, let's blend some of this so we can sort of get an idea of what it's going to look like. And again, it should be subtle. You don't need a lot. And if you don't want to shade, don't. This is for you. This is your art. You decide what you do to handle it. I just know that shading makes a big difference in your overall product. So, it's entirely your choice. And if you're a beginner, you may not want to deal with that. Choose something you want to focus on. It doesn't have to be shading. It can be whatever. Now, I can't tell very well because of my light how effective this is, but I think it will help. So I'm going to switch real quickly. I'll leave more of that for later. To my white Prismacolor, and I'm going to pick one of these dark spots, and I'm going to just stroke in some white. Right up in the tops. I don't know if that's going to look right or not. Might help. Let's do a couple more and see what we end up with. It does bring those out. Now I don't know how much, if any, difference this will make on the yellow. It looks like it'll make some difference. But I would go ahead and apply it just in case. Now I may change, blend, or work on the shape of these, but I just want to add it now and see where we're at. Okay. Okay, I'm going to lift this out here. Wow. Still pretty dark, isn't it? If it doesn't work out, I may have to do it again with a lighter background. We'll see. Again, I'm not going to prejudge where we're going until we get there. This should emphasize the heart shapes. Now, again, whether it's effective or not, we'll see. So on these lighter ones, you can't really tell. But the darker ones, it does make a difference. Let me hold this out again. It's still pretty light to me. Let me, or dark to me. Let me dot in my jelly roll and see where we're at with that. That sometimes helps a lot. I'm using my Jelly Roll 10. I like it best because the ink flows so nicely. But I use it mostly for this kind of thing, so take that with a grain of salt. you have trouble getting your jelly roll going, you can start it on your hand, you can start it on paper towel or a piece of paper, scratch paper. I use my hand because it's usually very convenient. And then I walk around for the next 2 days with jelly roll on my hand. I also rotate my jelly roll. If I have trouble getting it moving, sometimes rotating the pen in your hand helps. Take your time with this. Don't make a big mess like I like to do. Sometimes they're difficult. And the reason I like the 010 is because it's less difficult than the other kinds. Now, if you have some that turned out kind of wimpy, you can go back over those. If you have some that have turned colors, now, word of caution here with jelly rolls and watercolor. They are both water-based ink, okay? And so if your watercolors are not completely dry, and even if they are, sometimes your jelly roll will mix with the pigment there, and it will, after a while, it will turn pink or blue or whatever color you're using. Yeah. So just be aware that that can happen. If that happens, let your jelly roll dry completely, and then go back over it with another round, and that will sit on the other jelly roll, and hopefully the pigment will not transfer through. I have that issue a lot with gems, which is one reason why I switched to ink tints, but sometimes even with ink tints it happens. So anytime you're dealing with water-based ink, just be aware that they can mix and cause you issues. Let's look at it now. I gotta say, it's really pretty. The colors are gorgeous. I just wish, let me look at this again. This is really beautiful, actually. The colors just wow me. I'm going to add more white, I think, here and there. What you definitely don't want to do is dig down with your jelly roll and try to go harder. That will not give you the effect that you want. This is another one that needs a light touch. And again, if it doesn't work, try tapping or getting it restarted someplace else, like scratch paper or your hand or whatever you want to use. Each thing that we do here that brings lightness to it will help the overall feel. I still felt like it was a little too dark to get the pattern through. And of course, all of this you don't have to do. You can do this however you like. Okay, I gotta admit, I really like this. I really, really, really like it. This is a yellow polychromos. It's cadmium yellow. And I'm just juicing up slightly the yellow in the petals, in the little hearts, just a little bit. We'll just further brighten this just a bit. I'm not really worried about it going up where I have my white Prismacolor because it's going to be fine. It'll blend. And just bump up the color just a little bit. Maybe even some things out. I love the mix of reds and pinks and yellows. So I think the last thing I want to do, so I'm going to try to find my 01. I think I'm going to take, I changed my mind. I think I'm going to take my 05 and go around, or go on these outer borders and thicken this line just a little bit. Okay, I got a hair on here. What is it with me and hair today? Oops. All right, let's see what damage we did here. And of course we're over color, so I can't dab it out with the Jelly Roll really. Although on that light area, I don't think anybody's going to notice that. So now let's take a look. Okay, I really like it. By adding the white Prismacolor, and again, I'll probably add more to these tops, we can now see this meta pattern here with the points coming together and the tops of these hearts. Turning your colored pencils in your hands also keeps your point sharp. So if that's a habit you can get into, it's good for lots of things. The minute stuff starts going south for me, I start rotating whatever it is I have in my hand. All right. Now I will probably play with this a little bit more, and I may add something along this line. I'm really thinking about adding that new Tangle, is it Heart Chain? We could definitely do that, and that might be cool. But this is beautiful. You know, I don't care that it's so dark. It's really pretty. Don't you guys think? And I love the way the colors shift from place to place. I really like the way this turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun for me. I got to paint. That's always positive. And you guys came along for the ride. Also fun. I'm going to stick my chop over here in one of these hearts. Hopefully it doesn't have too much pencil in it, so I can go over the top. All right, I think that's good. Okay, what do you guys think? Another day down. This is day 14, I hope. Yes, I did get the numbers wrong on one of my thumbnails, but I did get it right in the title, so I went back and switched that. So thank you guys for letting me know. You know, I need a keeper. All right, guys, this is where I'm going to leave you today. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I'm going to see you again tomorrow. Don't forget, you can always binge watch the last 2 years of 100 days if you want to. I would like to think that I've gotten better at this over the last 3 years, but no way to know that for sure. Thank you guys so much, and I'm going to see you tomorrow.